Your Wednesday headlines on RT. The White House wants to review its ban on police use of military-grade equipment. Officers are currently forbidden from using U.S. Army-style gear for domestic unrest. If the ban is lifted, this is what will return to the streets of America in case of possible public riots. Armored and weaponized vehicles with officers dressed in camouflage uniforms and riot gear, as well as military-grade weapons, including rocket launchers, grenade launchers. The ban came in last year, though, after a massive public outcry over issues of police brutality.
You know, we've seen how militarized gear can sometimes give people a feeling like there's an occupying force as opposed to a force that's part of the community that's protecting them and serving them. Can alienate and intimidate local residents and send the wrong message.
Well, it seems the first steps towards upgrading equipment have already been taken. The New York Police Department has beefed up officers' protection, buying millions of dollars worth of military-grade gear. This following this month's shootings that left 8 policemen dead. The NYPD has spent $7 million on 20,000 military helmets, as well as 6,000 heavy-duty vests capable of stopping rounds fired from weapons like those used in the Dallas and Baton Rouge killings. The department also acquired trauma kits and bulletproof doors for police cars. Now, the decision to upgrade U.S. police gear, as well as the controversy behind the ban on Army-style equipment, that's the focus of today's edition of Watching the Hawks.
Should the police be falling back on military tactics used in a combat zone in order to police the United States?
Well, maybe the New York Police Department knows something is coming as far as some kind of war zone that's going to be coming here to the United States, because these guys are looking more and more like RoboCop. Why are we militarizing? As Tabitha said, the main issue of policing is actual engagement with the community and not going into a military occupation mentality as far as how they see that they need to treat their own people. So I don't understand this philosophy at all. I don't see how it's going to help the police or serve the police by turning these guys into more roboticized, detached, militarized personalities. How that's going to ultimately help serving the people of the United States, which is what the military, the police is supposed to be there for, as opposed to a military force.
You know, the more violent the police come across in their dress, demeanor, and attitudes and actions, the more uncomfortable it makes us, and the more that pushes violent-minded citizens to then react and attack the police. You could see that, you know, terrible circle taking place.
The pro-EU Scottish government is facing a backlash from the country's fishing industry, which is demanding it back down from closer ties with Brussels. Now, Scotland overwhelmingly voted to stay in the EU in the recent Brexit referendum, and since then its leadership has been exploring various options to stay in the bloc.
The UK that we voted to stay part of in 2014, a UK within the EU, is fundamentally changing. The outlook for the UK is uncertainty, upheaval and unpredictability. In these circumstances, it may well be that the option that offers us the greatest certainty, stability and the maximum control over our own destiny is that of independence.
The National Federation of Fishermen, however, has dubbed the Brexit as a unique opportunity to recover their trade. They believe European management of fisheries has failed and does not benefit the national industry that has seen almost a 50% decline in employment over the last 4 decades. RT's Polly Boyker investigates.
Fraserburgh used to be a major commercial port. Nowadays, this is the extent of weekday activity. Fishermen here say they've spent years tangled up in excessive regulation dictated by the European Union. But now, a wind of change is blowing through the harbour.
So the future's bright?
Yes, I think it is, yes. Fishing will get better. And the stocks of fish out here in North Sea is abundant. We're just not allowed to catch them.
For me, The problem with the European Union is that they don't really listen to the local fishermen from the fishing communities.
Did you vote for leave?
I certainly did.
So did local fisherman Peter Willocks.
Ecstatic. It's new possibilities, the whole world of new possibilities. It's opened up. They say at Little Britain, but I've never heard so much rubbish in all my days. It's Little Europe. We're looking at big world.
Many in the industry say that as a result of the EU's common fisheries policy, UK fishermen have been getting a raw deal, forced to limit how much they catch, while other EU member states benefit from increased quotas.
We are top of the food chain as fishing waters goes. Our share of the quota should go up because it's our waters, it's our fish, it's our livelihoods.
The UK's fishing industry is overwhelmingly in favour of Brexit. British fishermen say they feel shackled by European regulation, and they're excited about the prospect of having more say about what they catch and how.
How did you feel when you saw the Brexit vote announced?
I was really happy. I was really happy and relieved and thought, well, we might actually have a future in the fishing industry now.
Probably most of the fishermen are still in the same opinion yet that the common fisheries policy wrecked our industry here. We had a massive fleet of vessels here, which is now just a fraction of what it used to be.
Well, coming into the harbour, I was surprised to see an EU flag on one of the boats here, but upon closer inspection, it turns out that in the middle of this flag is a very rude middle finger, a reminder of just how strong the anti-EU feeling among the fishermen here is.
Polly Boyko, RT, Fraserburgh, North East Scotland.
Selling an organ to fulfill your dream or even just to get a roof over your head. In Nepal, some residents of villages give up their kidneys to try and afford a house. Easy prey for unscrupulous dealers. The donors are often scammed, having to deal with lifelong consequences. RT documentary team are trying to lift the lid on the questionable practices. Their full report premieres here on Friday.
त्यही बेचेर त यहाँ जब किनेको
अलिकति नि हिँड्दै जाँदा नि स्वास्थ्य जहाँ पहिले जस्तै अहिले त गर्नुहुन्छ त्यो जन्मदिने आमाले हुर्काएर बोलाएको थियो.
He sells the kidney for the singer, for the singers.
बाचा सबै तोडेर बन्धनहरू जोडेर बाचा सबै तोडेर बन्धनहरू तिमीले छाडी गयौ जानी जानी.
Coming up here on RT International, the Western mainstream media insists that Vladimir Putin is trying to rig the forthcoming US presidential election. Crosstalk now tries to dispel the myths and the media-driven distractions.